All right. Good afternoon, traders. Today is November 21st, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all my paying subscribers. Try to provide actionable, profitable content every day. All right, let's go ahead and look at the markets, see how I made 6,600 today while utilizing up to 10% of my whole account value. So that was 8,300. Okay, so only 10% of that was used to capture the 6,600. Okay, so let's take a look at the market. All right, so coming into the close, all right, on SPY, 10-minute, got a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close on SPY. On 2-hour chart, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. We have a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Okay, 2-hour uptrend, big switch up there. Okay, on the daily chart, candle, we've got a spinning top. Okay, so big tail, big wick, lower high, lower low, still. All right, and we're closing. I got to say, it looks like we're going to close under the bearish trap or inside it and under the 17 EMA. Okay, so didn't make up much ground today. We did cut the wheels and turn the car in a different direction, but we didn't make much gains today. I would have liked to see us close up on top of the 8. All we did was tag the 8 and drop down underneath the 3 EMA. So looking like price can continue running further south. All right, we'll see what happens. So there's SPY on the daily chart. Yep, it's still in a downtrend. Nothing has changed. If we look at this with the quad lines on there, okay, you can see there's the lower third. We're still in the middle of quadrant 4, all right? So we're still bullish, but not moving up, all right? We're just still in a downtrend, but in the middle of quadrant 4. Weekly chart, still in an uptrend. Yep, still in an uptrend. And monthly chart, still in an uptrend, okay? So weekly and monthly are still in uptrends. We got the 2-hour in an uptrend, 10 minutes in a downtrend, and the daily is still in a downtrend, but the 2-hour is in an uptrend right there. All right, let's take a look at the markets, and let me just show you what we traded today and how we read the tea leaves. Okay, so for me, let me get the drawing tools out. I got one right here. Okay, for me, this consolidation that we had a bull flag. All right, so we had right here, all right, was some pre-market consolidation, little 10-minute uptrend right there. I was looking for a continuation of the 10-minute uptrend. Okay, I didn't get it. All right, so what we wound up doing, all right, I was looking for a continuation of it. So what we wound up doing was boxing off the first 15 minutes. All right, so we came down here and we boxed off the first 15 minutes. So that would be a 5-minute chart, the first 3 candles right here. So we boxed those off. Okay, so you can see where the low is right here. So the low, and then you got the high, which was pretty much right here. Okay, so low and the high. So we broke down below, so I was looking for puts for a breakdown. Now on the 10-minute chart, okay, so we had the 10-minute just kind of moving flat, but the candles were kind of wild and whippy. I'm going to move this out of the way now. You can see big wick, big tail. Another one, big wick. Nothing really buyable, okay, on the 10-minute chart. Okay, for nothing really buyable right there. No clear movement and no clear holding the higher ground or holding the lower ground. Okay, it wasn't until price came down and put in these two candles here, got into some puts that didn't last long at all. You can see they bottomed out right here. They did the whole gap fill thing right after doing the gap fill. They bullish engulfed right here, came back and just gave us the sword with the business end pointed in the wrong direction if you're going to be a bear. Okay, so there's the business end of the sword. That would be the blade. Okay, so that's the blade. It's pointed in the wrong direction. So we're looking for a reversal to probably manifest within the next couple of candles. And here we got a bullish engulfing move right on top of this candle with a rip to the upside. Okay, so right here we had the whole green erases red. Okay, so this would be the red from right up there down to this low. See the low right here. Got a low right there. And then we had green come in and erase all of that. So the entry, and I was calling it out in the room, so here's that green erases red. So the entry would have been right here, right where the green passes through the red, right over the top of this line right there. So we had a green erases red. So we had some puts that worked out for a little while, but not they didn't have any follow through down there. They failed to make a lower low, and so we bought the calls right here. Okay, you can see where the green erases all of this red right here, the pullback to the higher low, and we bought the calls, and they just wound up got a 3-bar pullback, bought the pullback too. All right, with the igniting move up, bought the pullback, and you can see price winds up going up higher right up there. So you can see it's kind of like I gotta say it's kind of an MMRP. Not a very successful one, all right? But if I was to block it off, I can do that. Let's take this and move it out of the way. Okay, let's take this, move this out of the way. Okay, so I'll box off. Okay, so you got a reversal. Here's the igniting move. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles up. 4 candles to consolidate. Right there. 4 candles to check the resistance we just busted through. Okay. And then 4 candles up for a price advancement move. So here's our price advancement move, those 4 candles there. Now the next 4 candles are supposed to produce a higher low and a higher high, all right, which they did, but normally you get one more grouping of 4 candles that make a higher low and a higher high, and we did not get those follow through. There should have been one more move of higher lows and higher highs, and you can see clearly we didn't get it. All right, so there was the price rips through. All right, resistance, overhead resistance, falls back, J hooks off the top of the resistance that we just penetrated. All right, now it becomes support, and then price J hooks off of that and heads on up to the next resistance area. But we didn't get any follow through. We were supposed to get one more group of 4 candles to the upside. We didn't get it right there. But that was part of the MMRP that Worked out partially, not completely, on the MMRP pattern. All right, so there's SPY on the 10-minute downtrend. It's 4 p.m. Take a look at the game plan. All right, so here's our game plan. You can see never got below here, closing candles to do a whole green or red erases green. Again, they were all attached to VWAP. Pivot right here, you can see how the pivot worked. Price pulled back to the pivot and then bounced up, made a higher high. Got up here to the green erases red. But we already had the MMRP going, and they didn't get any follow through from that. And just took some profits and wound up not buying the pullback here. Not buying this pullback because I wanted it to continue. I bought it, well, let me change that. I bought it with like little 1 penny, 2 penny contracts. All right, because I wasn't want to risk a lot, being since there wasn't much time left in the day after 2:30. You can see right there. There's the pullback that happened right after 2:30, and it started to melt back to VWAP right there. Okay, so there's the game plan. All right, so I traded these. A lot of products I traded today. There was a lot of volatility priced into the options, so it looks like I traded a ton of stuff, and I did, but you know, as price moves, this stuff constantly melts. So I wind up having to flip out of one and go into the next one, flip out of that one, go into the next one, all because SPY was melting. So basically, you can see the calls. If I got calls, I traded the uptrend. If I traded puts, I didn't make much money on my puts coming down into the red erases green entry this morning. I made more on my put credit spreads than I did with my puts. So I had some put credit spreads, and I made money with my puts on those as price rocketed up and kept rocketing higher. So that's it right there. Just a lot of this one. I had some calls that I had sold short. They were 660, and if you look at price now, they were up as high as $11,000 underwater on those. Those will actually be worthless based on where price is closing right here. But I couldn't take that chance that price was just going to rip up and go up higher. So I had to close them out here, taking an $11,000 hit and a $3,000 hit on some puts that were upside down too. Those were, I think I sold some puts short, and I had to take a hit on those as well. So that's what happens when you have a spread. You either got to protect it or you wind up taking the hit, and I wound up taking some hits on those calls and those puts as price just did nothing but kind of zigzagged all day and made it difficult. I like it when it moves in big sweeping moves. Did not do that today. So there's QQ, there's SPY. Let's take a look at different chart. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ did kind of the same thing. You can see little 10-minute trend that really never ran away from VWAP. It got under VWAP, and this would have been the rubber band candle. And you can see, like, this would be my big spike candle. Here's your rubber band candle on the bearish side, and you never got a closing below the rubber band candle, so we never broke the rubber band candle there. We did get a green erases red entry right here, right up over the top of these, all these wicks up here, and there's a green erases red with a pullback to support and then a rip up that didn't go anywhere. Again, in the MMRP, you got 4 up, 4 back, 4 up again, and then you didn't get the third grouping of 4. Should have taken us up higher, but being since it's Friday and it was around 240, all right, so if it doesn't happen before 240, chances are the market maker is going to just park price wherever he wants to park it so that he can max out his profits coming into the close. It doesn't do him any good unless he has a way to profit to take it higher. So he just kind of just pushed it over to the side, actually pulled it back and then pushed it over to the side. So there's QQQ on the 10-minute chart. Into the close, 10-minute downtrend, 2-hour chart. We had a 2-hour uptrend, and into the close we got 2-hour downtrend. Let's go take a look at SPY one more time. SPY still got the uptrend. QQQ does not. Notice the 3 is underneath the 8 EMA. So still a 2-hour downtrend on QQQ, as well as 10-minute downtrend on QQQ. On the daily chart for QQQ, okay, you can see we're still up here in quadrant 4, so that's still bullish, but still in that downtrend, all right? So when are they going to stop? I don't know. But there's the downtrend. They're still in a downtrend. Another same candle as SPY, spinning top, closing under a trap under the 17 EMA right there. Just like SPY, the weekly is still in an uptrend. Got a 3 candle pullback, and then you've got the monthly still in an uptrend, getting a bearish engulfing on the October candle right here. There's QQQ. Let's take a look at daily chart again, and we'll go look at IWM. So IWM had a really nice day. Notice how they closed much stronger than QQQ and SPY. Okay, so they got nice body with little wick, little tail, okay, as opposed to little body, a lot of tail, a lot of wick. Okay, so nice close there on IWM. Making a lower high and a lower low, but closing, get this, over the bearish trap, but under the falling 17 and under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Yesterday they closed down here in the almost breaking out of the upper third. That would have been bearish if they broke out of the upper third and closed in this area. But they climbed back in today into the upper quadrant up there. So that's still bullish and in a downtrend, but again, it's bullish but still moving down. All right, on IWM. Diamond Dow is another spinning top. Okay, lower high, lower low, closing inside the bearish trap under the 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Again, up there, the bottom of quadrant 4, that's still bullish, but still in a downtrend. Okay, so I mean they can be in the bullish territory and be in a downtrend at the same time, but I don't know how much longer this downtrend could just continue to melt them right out of the upper third, which is be bullish. So we'll see. It's supposed to be bullish, but it needs to act bullish, and it's not. And that's Diamond Dow, SPY, and QQQ. Let's take a look at FNGU. All right, FNGU breaking the major support. It's not a good look for the markets with FNGU down here like this. Another spinning top with a big wick, big tail, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17, lower high, lower low, in a downtrend. Almost, I'm just going to give it to them. I'm going to say they're in the upper third. So they're bullish, but in a downtrend. They sure did spike out of the upper third with today's candle. All right, so they keep going with this, and they're going to be just neutral, and that's going to probably be the top for the market for a while, or we'll see unless something could change. All right, so there's FNGU, still bullish, but in a downtrend and not doing any performance as a bullish. This would be the major support, and they broke it. That's not good. Anyways, not for the bulls anyways. So let's take a look at gold. So here's gold. Gold candle today is a lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap and under the 17 EMA. Still in an uptrend. Still in the middle of quadrant 4. So that's bullish and still in an uptrend. Not a very strong uptrend, but in the middle of quadrant 4 up there. Okay, let's look at silver. All right, silver is, see the low right here? That pokes below the 17. Well, they made a lower low, so they no longer have an uptrend. They're now in a downtrend. They made a lower high and a lower low, so they started a new downtrend today, closing underneath that wick. Actually, not closing under the wick, but price action under the wick. Again, price action, lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap and under the 17 and under the all-time high anchored VWAP. So there's silver. That is in a downtrend, but still bullish up here in the middle of quadrant 4. All right, let's take a look at UNG. UNG, nice candle. Got a higher low. I see the higher low so far. And the high for today is... The high for today is 1784. The high for yesterday, 1783. So higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap, over the rising 17, holding the higher ground up here, UNG, but still in bearish territory. I'm going to zoom out. Okay, still in bearish territory, but in an uptrend right now. Okay, so we got indexes that are up in bullish territory, that are in downtrends and moving out of those areas, and then we got commodities, or one commodity, natural gas, in the bearish section down here in the lower third, but moving out of the lower third area to be back to a neutral stance if they can break out of this lower third. So there's UNG. Let's take a look at USO. USO is a lower high and a lower low, closing under a bearish trap and under the 17 EMA. So still in a downtrend. You can see the green line since the June high. Nothing but we never actually, we spike it, we tag it, we touch it, we kiss it, but we just can't seem to penetrate through and close some candles up here. So still in a downtrend, still neutral, all right, not in the lower third, not in the upper third, still neutral, and price action just neutral and in a downtrend. Let's take a look at our technicals. Okay, T21 01. Okay, the market moved. Let's see what we got. Market moved kind of up today, a little bit up, and then we lost participation with T2101. So market breadth decreased as price rose up higher. Okay, so less participation, less breadth in the sales today for T2101. T2122 is found its way out of the oversold zone, made a brief stop and a higher low in the sell zone, wound up running through the seller's chop zone to start to consolidate up through here and near the midpoint, and just kind of dealing with inside the buyer's chop zone and the midpoint up there. So that was nice. They did not make a higher high. They made a micro higher high from today's price action, but still no higher high and no lower low. So kind of an inside day there, T2122. Mostly you can see it kind of moving back and forth across the midpoint here, like once, twice, 3 times. And you can see clearly it's coming back through for a 4th time right there, T21.22. T21.23, we spiked it, all right, so we had a bearish gap down, all right, and the bulls filled the gap, so that was nice. We left off with a higher high. Again, the bar wasn't very high, so there's a high there. There's a higher low because this is the low of day, and there's a higher low, and we made a higher high up here. So we're in an uptrend on T21.23, but still down here, if we put the quad lines on it, you can see from the all-time high all the way down to here, we're still in the bottom of quadrant 1. All right, so we're still bearish down here. All right, but now we've started a little, just a smallest uptrend right there, beating just this little hump right there. So nothing groundbreaking from T21.23. It should still be in a downtrend, but due to its 15-minute chart, and they did make that little micro higher high. For me, this looks like a bear flag. For me, all right, but it is a 15-minute uptrend due to the fact that they made a higher low and a higher high coming into the close. T21.23. Let's look at the 3-bar chart. Okay, still in a downtrend on the 3-bar chart. You got a lower high. This is the all-time high, lower high. We got a lower low because here's a low, lower low, lower high, and another lower low, lower high, and another lower low. So in a downtrend here on T21.23, still underneath the 200 SMA. Again, dealing with the head and shoulders support line right through here. Okay, so unless they can get up here and remove the two heads, all right, looking like it's just still bullish. I don't know how much longer they can hold on to this. They're still in the upper third up here, but clearly still in a downtrend. FNGU is, again, closing underneath the major support. So now it's found some resistance up overhead. 15-minute chart is making, there's a high. They made a higher high. So that's an uptrend on FNGU on the 15-minute. But still in bullish territory. If I put the quad lines, see, quad lines on this, you can see it on the daily chart. And still underneath the 200, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, and in a uptrend, but definitely at the bottom of quadrant 4, probably not even in quadrant 4, probably more close to the lower third. All right, right there. All right, that's it for me for today. I'll see everybody on Monday. Everybody have a beautiful weekend. Don't forget to read the holiday hours. Okay, I did post them up above. I have them right here so you can see them. Okay, so on Wednesday, we're closed. Okay, all trading rooms closed. The market may be open, but we're going to be closed. On Thursday, that's Turkey Day. Okay, all trading rooms closed. Oh, close at noon. Thank you. All right, so on Friday, all the trading rooms are closed. The market closes at 1 on Friday. And on Wednesday, my mistake, we close at noon on Friday. Excuse me, on Wednesday, we close at noon. The room closes at noon. The market runs all day, okay, on Wednesday. Markets closed on Thursday. That would be Thanksgiving Day. And then this is Black Friday right here. All the trading rooms are closed that day, but the market's open till 1 o'clock. I just want to remind you, we do have some sales going on, Black Friday sales and some Cyber Monday sales. And I'll leave them in the description of the video, but you can see right here, Black Friday, we got the lifetime subscription for $39.95. That gets you into all the workshops, past and present. They have them recorded, all right? And then on top of that, you know, that normally goes for like $10,000. So it's a nice savings. All right. I know some of you are out there. Some of you make like, a couple thousand a day. All right. Beats paying every month. You get yourself a lifetime and you never have to look back. And then the other sale we got for Cyber Monday is an annual, which winds up being $1,205. All right, $1,205, and with the 12 months, you get an extra 6 months added on top of that for free. All right, so really it's 18 months, but you'll be paying the first 12 months. Okay, so it's 18 months for $1,205. Again, the links will be in the description. All right, so everybody have a beautiful afternoon. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Kind of a tough day. Fridays are usually tough days because, but we did get some nice 10-minute uptrends. I called them out. I know Fido, I think it was Fido or somebody made some money because I know he called that out, that he made some goals on that. Pretty sure it was Fido. Yeah, I think it was Fido. He made couple daily goals, maybe more than a couple. All right, but when I called it out in the room, I'm buying 665 calls. I guess he heard it and he bought some calls as well, or something that he likes, and we traded him up in that big rally back up to close over yesterday's close. All right, so I'll see everybody. Thank you, traders. I'll see you all on Monday. Okay, half day on Wednesday. I won't be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. All right, I'll be back here on Cyber Monday. All right, and if I don't see you, I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. If I don't see you next week, all right, and you're not in here because you're traveling to see family, safe travels. All right, and I wish you and your family and everybody a happy Thanksgiving out there. And I'll see you back on Cyber Monday or sometime that Cyber Monday week. Thank you, everybody.